Hi folks, welcome to another episode of the Single Dad's Cookbook. I'm glad to be back. And today I'm going to be making pistachio and caramel cheesecake. So for this you're going to need some double cream, some sugar, some digestive biscuits I've got here, whatever biscuits you want for your base, some cream cheese, vanilla extract, pistachios, and about 150 grams of butter. So like I said, good to be back. Let's get started. And the first thing I'm going to do is deshell all these pistachios. So while I'm doing that, I'd just like to welcome you to the channel. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. Costs you nothing. Or if you've been watching my videos and waiting and wondering where I've been, again, please like, comment and subscribe. So I have deshelled the pistachios. I'm now just going to roughly chop them up, and these are going to go into my base mixture. Now, if you've got a food processor and you can just pop these in along with the biscuit base and just blitz it, then do that. It'll save you a lot more washing up and a lot more time. With the biscuits, I'm just going to crush them all up by hand. Again, like I said, just get them all done nice and straightforward. If you've got little ones, this is a great time to get them involved, get them breaking up. Just be careful that they don't make too much of a mess though. So, biscuits crumbled, pistachios done. Get them in together, get them mixed. And then we've got to just give them a bit of a stir just so that they're all incorporated. So you've not just got them sitting in one big lump. Again, I'm talking about the kids not making a mess, and I make a mess myself. So just keep that all incorporated. Then pop that to the side. Once you're happy you've mixed it all. And then you're going to grab your butter. Now, I've got 150 grams of butter in a plastic bowl. The reason it's in the plastic bowl, not one of the steel ones, is because I've popped it in the microwave. And I'm just going to pour the melted butter into the mixture. That's how we're going to set this. Now, here you can add a little bit of sugar, add a little bit of sweetness. Completely up to you. I'm trying to not add any additional sugar. I know that sounds a bit weird considering I'm going to make a caramel base and it's got biscuits in it, but I'm not adding any to the actual cheesecake mix. Now, I've got some parchment paper and I'm doing this on a steel tray. With the parchment paper, I'm just slitting the corners, and you'll see why in a second. So it just makes it easier. Just a little cut. When you pop it in, it means you can get right to the edges. So, a little tip for you there. Once you're happy you've mixed all your ingredients, get them put into... I'm using a tray. Now, you can make these individually. If you've got like a little muffin tray, you can pop them in. You could make it into the normal circular tin, whatever you want. I'm doing it this way because I thought, why not? Really? I had it and I thought if I do it this way, it means it's a bit more controlled. And I can just try out a few things. So as you can see, it's at this stage, because it's still wet with the butter, you just got to be careful with that. Now, one of the reasons I did do it this way, quite simply, is so that I could get the another one of the steel trays, another bit of greaseproof paper over the top of it, and I could just press down on it. So I'll show you what I mean in a second. Once I know that I've got most of the where I want it to be, then just grab another bit of greaseproof paper, cover it, get another one of your sheet pans, and just put a bit of weight down on it, moving it around, so into the corners, pressing down, and you just see that, move it across, nice bit of weight. and then pop that in the fridge. It really is easy as that. So that goes in the fridge. While that's in the fridge, what we're going to do is we're going to add 150 grams of sugar. And then you're going to add water to this, but you just enough water to cover your sugar. So you just want to cover the sugar and no more. So done, lid on, and you just want to keep an eye on it because you don't want the sugar to actually burn. Make sure you get the right pot lid when you do this. But get that on and keep an eye on it. So while that's doing that, we're going to get the cheesecake mixture done. So we're just killing as many birds with one stone while we're doing it. So I'm using 350 grams. I think it actually works out at 330 grams of cream cheese. I just used 2 pots. I thought that would be enough. And then I'm going to add in 100 grams of double cream. So we get the double cream in and we can get it going. Now, I'm adding a little bit now, and I'm going to add in a little bit towards the end. And I'm using the double cream to sweeten the mixture, basically. So just if you want to, you could add in some icing sugar or powdered sugar. Don't add granulated sugar at this stage because it would become grainy and gritty. So you don't want to add that in. But powdered sugar, you could add in there. And I'm going to add in vanilla extract. Now, from here, you can add in whatever you want. Absolutely anything. And take it in any direction. You could melt some mint chocolate, add it in, white chocolate, milk chocolate, dark chocolate. Add in orange zest, whatever you want. And I'm just adding in a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I am just going to mix all that together to give us a nice base. Now, like I said, I'm not adding any sugar to this because I'm trying not to, basically. The caramel should be enough. Now, depending on how you make your caramel, it'll either be sweet, and if you let it go too far, it can become like a bit bitter. So you've just got to be careful with that. But there's the rest of the cream going in. And again, I'm just going to mix that up. Then I'm going to cover it and put it in the fridge to set and harden so I can get it done when I need it. Now, if you've got a piping bag, by all means, transfer this into a piping bag, and you're laughing. So you can see, well, maybe you can't. The bubbles are bubbling away. What you'll find is if you actually sit and watch it, they'll become bigger and they'll become more consistent. And so they're bubbling away here, and then you'll just start to see them form into this type of colour. You can see it's gone golden brown. That's when you know it's ready. So you want to take that off the heat. Okay, the bubbles are still forming, and you want to add in your double cream. Now, it's going to foam up because you're adding a cold to the sugar. This is where people add in the bicarbonated soda, and they actually make the honeycomb from that. So, you see there, I'm just keep it whisking it in. Keep going, and it'll all come together. So you just add in the rest. And this is you making a nice caramel sauce. So just keep mixing it and it'll all become... Now, if you take it off a little bit lighter, the caramel will be lighter. If you want to add in some butter at this stage and make it a butter caramel, you can do. I'm just getting in all the last bits of the cream. You can see it's starting to string on the spoon there already. So this is where I've taken it. Maybe some people may go a little bit too far, but and that's why you've just got to be careful with it. You add a little bit of salt into this and you've suddenly got a salted caramel sauce. So again, literally, it doesn't take long to make. Get your base out of the fridge and we are going to just cover the base with the caramel sauce. And then we are going to just work it into the corners. Now the beauty of using the sheet tray is you can just pick it up and you can move it around. Again, if you've got a normal container or if you're doing it into little individual pots, you'll be able to just take your time and go through it all. But we're going to get that into there and then we're just going to guide it into the corners. Just so that every single bite has a bit of the caramel on it. So just literally guide it into the corners. And then you want to reset it back into the middle and give it a little bit of a knockdown so that it does, and it does mean that if there's any gaps in your base, the caramel will seep down and into it. Now, what I did here, you want to let this then cool in the fridge or in the freezer, depending on how quick you want to do it. And now we're just going to cover the base. So you just get it all done, get your base out, get your mixture done, and you want to spread that all over until you are happy that you've got a nice layer of the mixture. And if you've been smart enough to keep some of the chopped pistachios, you can cover the top of them as well. This is all about making sure that you get an even spread right across the cheesecake base. So nice, and you can make a fancy pattern, completely up to you. But look, you can see we've got the greaseproof paper, so it makes it easy to move. Back in the fridge, you want to give it another half hour, 40 minutes, just so it all hardens up. And this is where, if you were smart enough at the beginning to keep a little bit extra of the pistachios to the side, you can then sprinkle them across the top on an even keel and make it nice and presentable. Once you've done that, you want to get it back in the fridge. Make sure that it's all nice and solid. Then you can cut it up and dish it out. Like I said before, you can add more sugar, caster sugar. You can make the caramel sweeter by adding butter. You can just zhuzh it up. There's a Scottish word for use. Okay, you can do that. Now I'm just going to cut this into sections just to make it, again, a little bit more easier to get out. This I took in and it was gone once it was all done and dusted. I took it for some people to taste and it was devoured. Great for Easter weekend and getting on the pistachio craze that is at the minute. Guys, I know it's a longer video than normal, but there was a few steps. As always, it has been a pleasure to come back I will try and do some more. Life's been busy, and it's been hectic. Uh, the comments still coming through on older videos is brilliant. As always, I hope you're looking after yourself and each other out there. Okay, the world is getting weirder and weirder. But as always, from my family to yours, till the next time, thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe.